We've lived here now for 9 years. My wife Sharon first came, she was the rector for 5, 6 of those years. And we moved here and we ended up here by accident, fell in love with the place. Because it is quite an unusual place. You drive into a forest, and then all of a sudden you've got these small little towns and villages. It's just something about Brandon I really like. It does remind me of home. It reminds me a little bit of where I was brought up in Liverpool.
Tell me a little bit about your benefits, particularly. We're here to celebrate the whole Deanery.
Yeah.
But tell me a little bit about your particular benefits.
Yeah. Well, we have one church. When we first moved here, the church was, very low in numbers and struggling a little, if you like. And it either needed to grow or close, I think, was the truth of it. And they knew they needed to change, and some of them did welcome that change. Bless them, they really did take it on the chin. And the whole pattern of worship changed, the whole way they were doing things within the church changed, and it started to grow and has continued to grow throughout over. And
that is at St. Peter's.
Yeah.
Which is stunning. I'm sure probably grade 1 listed.
Yeah, grade 1, beautiful building.
It really is.
And steeped in history. There's some of the history of some of the past rectors way back to, the 1500s.
And you're going to lead morning prayer for us,
I am.
Which is starting on Monday, running from Monday to Friday. We're going all over the diocese, to every deanery, and beyond. Very kind of you to step up and offer to do that.
Yeah.
Just tell me a little bit about prayer and how it fits into your life and what you hope to bring to that week.
Yeah, well, they'll mostly be outdoors. I feel if I feel cooped up, I'm not good with that. That's why I like doing things like this, just going out, being in the open air with people where it just feels more natural to me. So when I do lead the prayer, it will be in places that I love, places that I go where I just know I can just kind of instantly connect with God.
Kieran from Ipswich did the Triangle Churches a couple of weeks ago, and he did it from the recreation ground in the middle of the estate where the church is.
Yeah.
And it was really a lovely week.
Yeah.
So I encourage you to get out and about and show people a bit more of the area.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
You've now got a busy parish and a busy benefice that you've built up. Just tell us the sorts of things you get involved with and that people would like to know about.
Yeah. Well, we're very, very fortunate to have our own church hall. One of those old church institutes that they built in the 1900s, which, funnily enough, the Bishop of Ely, when Brandon came under the Diocese of Ely.
It was a switch?
He came and he opened the building up, and he said this building will be the workhorse for the church. So that's, it's written in the newspaper, and I just find that even after those 100 and odd years, it's still the same thing. A couple of years ago, we decided to open up a bar, invite people in, and hospitality is something that our church does really well. We have everything from community meals to we have music nights at the church where people come bring their instruments, and there are 40, 50 people there. Just not many of them go to church, but they come and connect with us, and I've found out that actually we're quite decent people who go to church. We're not as weird as some people might think they are.
Yeah.
I used to work for a youth work charity, and I ran a youth centre in Kent. That was for about 25 years. And I always felt that one day I would go into ministry, but it kind of didn't happen. And if it wasn't for coming to this diocese, I wouldn't have looked into my calling again, because I'd resigned myself to the fact that that's not going to happen. I'm nearly 50 years of age. It's too late for that. But when I came to this diocese, it was like a fire being rekindled when I got talking to the DDO, Tim Jones at the time.
DDO?
Diocesan Director of Ordinance.
There you go, everybody, DDO, something you've learned today.
And he said to me, just come and chat with me. We'll meet once a month and we'll talk. very, very kind man. And that's all we did was talk. And then he realised, he saw a calling on my life, and he said, Dennis, you need to relook at this. And that was it. And here I am, ordained priest, and my whole life has changed again, And actually my whole relationship with Jesus, my relationship with God just came alive again. And I didn't really think that was possible. Honestly didn't. But I should know that everything is possible with God.
It's exuding from you. I can definitely feel it. And it's not just the sunshine, I can feel that. It's wonderful. Dennis, thank you so much, and I really look forward to your week. I'll be joining at 8:30 Monday to Friday on the Bishop's homepage. Hope everybody else in Brandon will, and in this deanery, but also around Suffolk. So I'm sure you're going to have a lot to say.
I'll get them to join in.
Do that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dennis.
Pleasure.
Appreciate it.